good people, welcome back to Beauty in the Frizz. My name is Cara, and whether you're new or returning, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. So yes, it's June 1st, but better late than never. I owe y'all 2 makeup roundups for April and May. So we are going to start with everything that I tried out in April today. So this is going to be kind of like a speed review. Some of the things I have used several times now at this point, so I can kind of give you my final thoughts on a variety of products. So if you want to hear about what I've used in the month of April and see what I'm still thinking about these products, keep watching this video. Let me know what you think. And if makeup is your therapy and your love, if it makes you happy and you want to connect with another enthusiast that feels the same way, definitely consider joining the community because I'd love to have you back. All right, let's get started. Now, as usual, I'm gonna save the eyeshadow palettes for last. That's always like the largest amount of things that I try each month. So let's start with a moisturizer too. So the moisturizer I've been using lately is by Beauty Pie, and this is called the Super Healthy Skin Ultimate Anti-Aging Cream. This is a visibly lifting, firming, plumping cream with plant bioactives and hyaluronic acid. All right, so I did purchase a subscription to Beauty Pie, and the only thing that I did purchase was the it was like a little starter kit with their best sellers. I haven't purchased anything else, so now I'm feeling like that may have been a waste, but I know Beauty Pie has some nice things, so at some point maybe I will place a separate order. This is a nice cream. It is very thick. It is really moisturizing, and would I repurchase this? I'm not sure. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I look at my little skincare drawer and there are so many things that I have, from Tremu boxes and BoxyCharm boxes, that there was really no need to even bring this into my little arsenal. So it is a nice cream if you have a subscription to Beauty Pie, but I would not go out of my way to purchase it from Beauty Pie, if that makes any sense. After I do my moisturizer, I do my sunscreen, and I'm sure you've heard me talk about this already. And this, I carry it with me sometimes. The box is all damaged, or the packaging is all damaged. This is the Tatcha Silk Sunscreen, and this is a serum. Now I also have their previous sunscreen, which is a cream, which is SPF 35. This one is SPF 50. I really love them both. The added bonus to this one is that it has niacinamide and hyaluronic acid. So it's got the skincare ingredients in this one as well. But both of them really work nice under makeup. This is expensive, and from what I've heard from others, there are some sunscreens that you can get that are cheaper than this. I would repurchase this. This is all I know as far as sunscreen, the Tatcha products. So would I branch off and try something else? Yeah, I would. But I also feel like I really like this, so I don't know if I want to just mess with a good thing. I would definitely get this on a sale though. I know Tatcha has 20% off at times. I would definitely get this again, but I am still working through this one. All right, let's talk about a setting spray. I have the Urban Decay All Nighter. This is the Vitamin C Cactus Flower Water long-lasting makeup setting spray. Now I believe that this is supposed to help brighten your skin. I don't necessarily notice any extra brightness, but as far as setting the makeup, I think it looks really nice. I haven't really had the time to compare this one to the Charlotte Tilbury, to the other all-nighter, the regular one. I have those as well, but I have been using this. I do feel like my skin looks bright, but I don't know if it looks brighter than the regular all-nighter or the other setting sprays. So the jury is still out about this one. I don't know if there was a price difference on this one at all, but I know that there was like a glowy version of this, and I would be curious about that because I love, you know, glowy skin and any type of product that has a dewy finish to it. But this isn't bad. I think it works as well as the regular all-nighter. Now the two blushes that were new to me, and I feel like, oh no, there's more. There's more blushes. Hold on, way more blushes. What am I doing with my life? Let's start with the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer Blush. Now I have this in the shade Southbound. This is really nice. It melts into your skin beautifully. And I think this is great if you want more of a light wash and a dewy finish. Now using this with the sponge, and I think that's the only way I've used it, it is really, really easy to soak up this product and then it looks like you have nothing on. So you do of course need some extra when you're using a sponge. Haven't tried it with a brush though. I was just thinking the sponge application was going to look better than a brush application for this type of product. It's not very thick at all. And again, I think it looks really nice on your skin, but I think it gives you more of a wash. And you probably want to put like a little powder over top, but see when I diffuse it out, it's not very, very potent, but it feels nice on the skin. I don't know if I would repurchase this. I have a lot of blush, so there might not be a need. So if you compare this to like the Rare Beauty blush, that liquid blush, like Rare Beauty is gonna last me my whole life. This one I'm gonna go through. Rare Beauty, you just need 2 dots and that's it. So the pigmentation is a lot different with those two blushes. Now I am a huge fan of this. This is the Glow Blush by Menagerie Cosmetics. This is called the Best Buds Glow Blush, and this came with the Sugar Glider collection, and I love this because it is a shimmery duochrome blush. So 1 minute it looks like a highlighter, and then the next minute it looks like a blush. And I particularly love that look on me. I know that some people do not like a shimmery blush, so this will not be for you, but you could even do it as a little highlight, and it would give you, like if you did it up here in the highlight area, it would give you like a little, I want to call it like a blush halo. You know what I mean? Like you'll just see it on the outside. Like it's going to look like a little peach light shining on either side of you. You know what I'm saying? But then straight on, you're not going to see that. I don't know. I really, really like this. I am hoping to see them release this Glow Blush in some other shades because I would definitely be interested in purchasing that. And last but not least, for blush, we have the Unearthly Cosmetics blushes. These are great, every single shade. I think the range of blushes that came in this launch is a great range. I think it's going to suit everybody. Everyone can find something in this range for them. You've got a purple blush, you've got orange, you've got these melony colors, you have pink, you have the bright fuchsias. So these are really nice. You could go soft or you could go, you know, loud and punchy if you want to. And I think the finish of the blush looks really nice. I'm into it. So glad to have these. And this is the palette that I was sent. It's called the Sorry Mom palette. They don't really fit well in this palette, so I just tried to make a little cute design. Cute, but not really, because I can't fit the highlighters in that go with this set. So I'll probably end up taking these out and just putting some single shadows in this. But the blushes are great if you were interested in those. Let's move on to mascara. I have 2. For some reason, I thought I talked about this one, but maybe not. This is the ColourPop Act Natural Defining Mascara. This is the first brown mascara I've tried, and I think brown mascara looks really nice, especially when you do those like bronzy, neutral looks. I love how the brown mascara looks. So that was the standout about this mascara. As far as like what it does for my lashes, I think it's fine, but it's not like, it defines them, but they're not like, doesn't super stretch them out or anything like that. The biggest impact on my lashes has been the GrandeLASH serum. So I feel like all the mascaras lately are looking really nice on me, but I love this brown. I would repurchase this, and this comes in burgundy as well. ColourPop is having a sale, and I'm kind of debating whether or not I want to replenish this, but I'm sure I can find brown mascara in another brand. So I'm not like really pressed to purchase this at this time, but I would repurchase it, especially for 30% off. Think about that. Okay, and the other mascara that I tried in April was the Melt Cosmetics Supernatural Lash Mascara. Now, I feel like I used this up kind of fast. It's not completely dried out, but I just feel like it's a little clumpier now, and every time I use it and try to give it another chance, it just is not performing the way that it did. Honestly, I did not see anything special about this mascara, and as I continued to use it, as I said, I felt like my lashes got a little clumpy, and then I know that's where that little lash brush comes in, and I have that brush, but it's kind of like, who wants to do that? Not me. I am not interested in that. I will not repurchase this. I have a lot of mascaras that are cheap, like my Makeup Revolution 5D Lash Power Mascara. I don't really need to spend a whole lot of money on mascara, so I'm gonna go ahead and not repurchase this. Now let's move on to lipsticks. I'm moving through the other stuff kind of fast because y'all know, well, you know, lipsticks, you know, I like talking about blush, but y'all know I got a whole pile of eyeshadows, so, and that's gonna be a lot. But we're gonna go with the lipsticks now. Okay, wait, just two new things. First, we have the Pat McGrath, what do we call this? Skin Allure lipstick. Now this is from the Bridgerton collection. I love this shade. It's Venetian Peach. This is a beautiful peach shade. You can use it with or without a liner. I kind of think making sure the boys aren't here. I kind of think most people might want to use a liner, but when I just want to throw something on, like I'll just take this and put it on without a liner. And I love it. I love it. What I don't love is this packaging. Like, for some reason, to me, it definitely feels cheaper and looks cheaper in person than what it looked like on the website. I would not purchase this at full price. I mean, Pat McGrath has been having so many sales, not on the Bridgerton stuff yet, but eventually this will be there. And if you were interested in one of these shades, I would go for it then. But like the lipstick itself is nice. But like, so are my Juvia's Place lipsticks that were $15 that sometimes go on sale for $9, like just as good. So, oh, the boys just pulled up. Destroy. I love them. But you know what? This is a good time to pause because in a second when I cut to getting back, after getting them settled, we're gonna talk about these Dior lipsticks. Now, we're not gonna talk about every single shade because it's gonna be too much. And y'all know I am working on the lipstick video for that, and that is gonna be coming. It is going to be coming. But we're just gonna talk about a few of the ones that I have and my denim case. So let me get them together and I'll be right back. Now, I just got the boys situated. Now, I always ask them do they want a snack because usually I'm not done dinner or whatever. Mr. Tyrone's cooking dinner today. I gave August a choice of like 5 things and he's gonna tell me that's all. We're low on food. Destroy. All right, let's talk about. So right here I have 5 of the Dior Addict lip shines. I didn't need to have all 5 for this roundup. These are excellent. Now let's see. Let me move up a little bit. So we have the shade Icon, which is like this beautiful kind of red shade. Gorgeous. That's the one that I wore last because it's in the case. We've got Faux. Look how pretty. It's like a nice little deep peach shade. We've got Bandana. Bandana is one you could just throw on with anything. Just throw it on. It's like a nice beige, brown beige. Ooh, we've got Dior Tool, which kind of has a deep pink to it. Yes. What else do I have over here? Ooh, Dior Bar, y'all. Look, Dior Bar. Look at that. And that's really deep brown. What I enjoy about these is how shiny they are, how smooth they are. I like how they smell. I like how they feel on the lips. I have some other shine bombs or lipstick bombs or whatever you call them, because all the brands are coming out with them. Some are quite sticky. It's just doing too much. Like, I like my Charlotte Tilbury Hyaluronic Lipstick Lip Balm, but it's really sticky. And I want to say, is the YSL one sticky? I can't remember if that one's sticky, but these are by far the best ones. Now, they're not going to last all day and they are going to transfer, but you can just put them on like chapstick. They give you a nice amount of pigmentation. They make your lips look so plump and juicy. They're worth it. Now, I will say when Dior goes on sale for 15% off, like at Macy's and Nordstrom's, get them then, or get them for the Sephora sale, because that's when I got all of mine, because $40 is a lot. It just is. And they are worth it and they're really nice, but that's expensive. So I would try to catch them on sale when you can. I love them so much. I can't wait to do the try on video. I just love them. They're just so light. Like if you just want to just throw something on, I don't know what else to say. They are great. All right, and the last product is not new, but it's one I started using in April. And this is the Pat McGrath Under Eye Blur Powder. And this stuff is so powdery. Look. Destroy. That's a mess. But this stuff is so great. It really blurs your under eyes really nicely. And I just love how with this, like I can just tell when I have on enough, like I can just tell how my skin feels. It looks really good. Now I know some people use this all over the face. I only use it on my under eye, but this is really nice. And I think Pat McGrath is having a sale, so I would get it for the 30% off. Now the packaging on this, super cheap. I definitely think we could have, this could use a makeover, you know what I mean? And I think if you're the type to carry this with you or throw it in your bag, you'll probably shatter it, because this light plastic is not protecting the product. And I guess this, I don't know what this mirror is supposed to be doing, but the powder is great. And I guess that's what counts, but we could have done a little bit better with the overall packaging. And again, this is not a new product. This is the newest color, the yellow, which I think is great. So that's it. That's going to be all for anything other than, what's wrong? Today. Oh, I'm sorry. Forever. Wait, not forever. Yes. That's not true. Come here. Where are you going?
I want to go pool now.
We cannot go now.
I want to go to the outpool, mature pool, visual pool.
I know you want to go to all those people's pools, but first of all, we cannot go today.
At the outpool, mature pool,
Miss Shorty's pool, Miss Laura's pool. I know we can't not go there today.
I want that.
We are not invited to that pool. That's not ours.
They're having fun.
They're having fun.
Oh no. I have to get my swim trunks.
No, we're not going to get our swim trunks because we're not going.
We can't.
No. Hi, August.
Forever. Hello.
Hello.
No.
Oh, why don't you show them your Hawaiian shirt?
Forever.
Oh, yeah.
Forever.
We are going. I promise. Just not today. I am going to ask you guys to decompress. It's not the same shirt. I'm not going away. It's my own room. We go through this every year about Marky and the pool. So all my neighbors pretty much have a pool. I would like to get a pool, but they said my backyard is shaped in a weird way. So we are going to have to figure something else out. But everything was backed up because of COVID.
Why can you not have pools in the front?
You're not allowed to have a pool in the front yard. You're just not allowed. Someone could walk in, because it's not a private area, somebody could walk in, fall into the pool. You're absolutely right. I'm sorry, Marky.
I'm sorry, Dad.
I'm sorry. Now, the eyeshadow palettes that I am sharing with you are palettes that I've used throughout the month of April. You can tell them in a minute. Some of them are new, some of them are old, some of them you've seen. I like to continue to let you all know just how I'm feeling about these products that we spend our money on. You know what I mean? Especially once they're not new anymore. Here we go. First palette. August, you want to say it with me on 3? Wait. He's going to say it with me. Hold on. Now y'all probably know what it is. 1, 2, 3.
We sound like the same when we see them.
We do. Y'all, this is still going strong in my collection. I think it's one of my favorite ones from ColourPop. I just wanted to mention it because I did wear this in the month of April. In fact, I think I was wearing it in my March roundup video that I filmed in April. So yeah, I still love this palette. And I did not get the new Star Wars palette that ColourPop released. However, and it's sold out, but it looks really nice. I am still contemplating completing my Star Wars palettes with the Darth Vader palette and then that other one, but I'm gonna wait. It is on sale, but the Darth Vader, but the Star Wars one is out of stock. So yeah, I just want to let y'all know this is still so cute and so good. I just love it. Bridgerton, Belle of the Ball. You know, I really contemplated returning this and I was like, no, I'm not. But I would say, is this a makeup regret? Kind of. It kind of is a makeup regret because the only thing that I'm probably going to use this for is referencing it. It's okay. There's nothing special about this palette. If you want it, wait for a sale. Again, I really contemplated returning it and then was lazy and I was just like, I'm gonna go ahead. I created some beautiful looks with it, but did I need this palette? No. The collector in me is the only thing that allowed me to keep this palette, and I'm on the verge of not becoming or being a Pat McGrath collector. Now, the motherships, yes, but maybe these 6 pans, they're just not what the previous 6 pans I have were. Like those other 6 pans, the earlier ones, the ones that I had to search for on Macari, those color stories were just so different, so unique. And this, she's in like the pink, what do we want to call it? The pink black hole. I don't know what to call it. The pinks are just, it's just so overdone. And I am ready to move on to something else, but I just don't know when we will get that. So it's such a waste. It's a waste. I really don't need that. Every time I look at it, I'm just like, should have returned it. We have a palette from Melt Cosmetics. Now this is the Impulsive palette. This is one of the bulkiest palettes I've ever seen in my life.
Mama.
This is okay. I'll be honest with you, I'm not gonna use this. I'm not. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the layout. I don't know what it is. And sometimes we just have these feelings about palettes. It's just like the Amore Mariposas. I'll use Amore Mariposas before I would come back to this. Now, somebody did suggest that I can just declutter this and put this with my singles, but I doubt you're gonna hear me say, I need to go ahead and use that Impulsive palette. Like, it would have to be an impulsive decision for me to use this palette. Let's just go back to Pat McGrath for one more minute. What I did enjoy using was the Mothership 5. This is Bronze Seduction. Oh my goodness, you guys. This one, I think when I re-rank my Mothership palettes, this may be moving up in the ranks. This palette is so good, so good. And I'll be honest, this made me start to really enjoy the special shades. I think this palette has some of the best special shades. So if you were thinking about this palette, I do have a more recent video with this palette. I love the deep shade in here because, you know, in some of her palettes, she has the black. But this one, I believe, is Extreme Aubergine. It's like an eggplant. Yes, this palette, y'all, is so, so, so good. And if you don't want to use the reds, you can do a beautiful neutral look. And I remember using the red as a liner. You can use the red in the crease. I think this is moving up in the ranks. I'm almost certain. Was so happy to pull this out. I mean, the Mothership palettes, so good. And this red packaging, like I'm still not over it. Yes. Okay, y'all, and I'm just grabbing these palettes as I go. So I have some more Melt palettes, but they were not next in the pile. But what is next is the Menagerie Sugar High palette. This one is so good. Like, no complaints. The mattes are matting, the shimmers are shimming. They're very foiled. Very like tropical vibes palette. It's like a tropical rainbow. Great shade names. And I did a look, and I know a couple people thought it was the Cleona palette, But yeah, I absolutely love this palette, and I liked it way more than I thought, because when I looked at it, I'm like, it is kind of like a rainbow palette. But I don't know, I'm a fan of the Menagerie palettes. Now I only have 2, but the 2 that I have, this one and the Indigo Ink, they are really good palettes. The shades, some of the shades did stain a little bit because this is a pressed pigment and eyeshadow palette, but nothing that you couldn't get off easily. So I really like this. I hope they restock this, because this did sell out quickly. And with that release was the glowy blush that I showed earlier, the peachy gold blush, the Best Buds. So if that comes back into stock and you were thinking about it first, or you missed out on it, I do have a video. I think this is a great palette. I really like the inspiration for their palettes, and I'm definitely gonna be looking out for Menagerie. I tried one palette in my palette rotation video by Lunar Beauty. This is actually Moonspell Volume 2. This was the first time that I used this palette. I've had it forever. I never did a video on it, but I really, really enjoyed the mattes in this palette. And it's funny because I'm looking at like these 2 shades right here, and I'm actually wearing the, what is it, Nude Prism palette, and I picked a similar shade, like this kind of apricot shade to use, and I'm saying this is like my favorite. But I love that this is like a kind of red purpley story, but you've got a black in here. I just think there's a lot that you can do with this palette. And I don't know if this is still available or not, but I love the plums, the browns, the purples. There's just a lot of creativity that you can do. I think the quality is really good. I like this palette. I am sorry it took me so long to finally use it. And I did pair this palette with some of my Terra Moon's singles. So I really did enjoy using that palette. Another palette that I believe I included in my palette rotation, I'm not sure if it was that video or not. I think it was. It was the Vizier Spritz Edit palette. And I purchased this when Vizier had a sale, but I'm gonna be honest, you guys, I know that Vizier makes amazing eyeshadows and amazing quality, but for some reason, I just don't go for the Vizier shadows. I don't know why. I have like 5 palettes, and this was, when I bought these on sale, this was the only one, is the only one that I've used so far. So let me know. I'm just wondering, like, I think when you have a lot of eyeshadow, it's just hard to get to everything, but I also don't want to keep buying things that I'm not going to use. You know what I mean? And for some reason, these don't always call to me. So I did want to pull this out. I love the color story, but I think because I have other things that I would go to, like, not exactly, but maybe my Natasha Denona bronze palette and a couple other things in my collection, like my Melt Rust palette. That's also going to be in this video. This kind of falls into the makeup graveyard. So let me know what you think about that. Who? So next I have 2 palettes from Adept Cosmetics. We have the Heather Austin palette, which is this one here. And then we have Amnuet New, which was a gift from my friend Dr. Ash over at Dr. Ash and Her Makeup. I think both of these palettes are really, really nice. However, if I had to pick, I really enjoyed the Heather Austin palette. And this is one I definitely think I will come back to. I like Amnuet New, and this is like a really nice neutral palette. It's got mostly cool shades in my opinion, and then it's got some warms. But this one, I just like the different mattes that you have. Like, you've got the grungy mustard, you've got a forest green, you've got a plum shade, and you have a beautiful just basic brown transition shade. And then you have the variety of shimmers, and you know, you have the duochromes. I just think this palette for me is going to get a lot more use just because of the color story. But both palettes I think have excellent quality. I think this palette is coming back this summer if you like this color story. And there's already been a restock for the Heather Austin palette. So don't have anything negative to say. This just the Heather Austin palette. I just love this color story a lot. It's a really good palette. There's one palette I cannot find, and I really don't know where it is, and it's the Nomad Paradise palette. I was so pleasantly surprised by that palette, and I'm gonna pop a picture up of it. It is beautiful, and I think that if you're somebody who likes lighter colors but you don't want pastels, that palette is perfect There was just like some really great tropical vibes going on with that palette, and I really enjoyed it. I only created 2 looks and said I was going to come back to it, but as of right now, I have to relocate it. It's in this room, but I have yet to find it. I thought Nomad did a really, really nice job with that palette, and they are revealing shades to their next release. So I'm so curious as to what destination they are traveling to next for their palette. Yeah, that was a really nice one. I would go as far to say that that might be one of my top 3 favorites from Nomad. I thought it was really, really good. Just really summery. And I know that's a palette I probably wouldn't wear all year round, but for the spring and summer, I just think it's nice. And I don't believe in only using like palettes in certain seasons at all, but that one has such a summery tropical vibe. It just doesn't give me a winter feel at all, but it is really, really nice. And I think it was very well done. All right, let's talk about some eyeshadow singles. I added to my Terra Moons collection in the month of April. I don't know if they were having a sale, or I don't think they were having a sale. I think they just released some new shades, and this just allowed me to just really explore my Terra Moons collection and just revisit the old shades that I have. And man, like Terra Moons, I don't know how they do it, but the way that their eyeshadows feel, they're just very creamy. And I love the duochromes that they have. They're not really flaky or anything like that. And I also am now appreciating their mattes. They are soft and they are really powdery, but they blend out so nice. And what I like about their mattes is they do have, you know, some neon colors from time to time, just some shades that you might not be able to find everywhere. And I think they work really nicely. I like this like periwinkle one here. But yeah, like some of the newer shades like La Lune, the Cosmos, I mean, they are some great shifty chameleon shades. And I have really started to develop a love for Terra Moons, and I'm trying to avoid this sale because they're having a sale right now. Everything is 20% off until June 3rd. And I was just like, oh, I'd love to add a couple more of these chameleon shades. Thank you. Go ahead and eat and I'll take a look at this. Wait, this isn't telling me how you're going to solve a problem. If something's bothering me, I will say yes.
No, something's boring.
That's not what I want you to do. What I want you to do is, if you're mad about, because living outside is not solving a problem.
Destroy.
I'm glad that you're sorry. You will not eat for a week.
Destroy.
These aren't solutions. What I'm asking you to do is like, what can you do to calm down? Like, can you take a deep breath? Can you count to 10? Do some yoga? Sit out on the porch? Things like that.
What?
You know what? Maybe Mr. Tyrone can help you. Go sit at the table and eat dinner with Mr. Tyrone. Go ahead.
No iPad.
No, I don't want that.
I want the paper.
Get another piece of paper and Mr. Tyrone will give you some ideas. Okay, 1. Because you 2, close the door. Because he was upstairs feeling himself and I'm not for it. These are great. If you're looking to get into indie makeup, I don't think you can go wrong with Terra Moons. I just don't. So that's that. And that was the first eyeshadow singles purchase that I made this year. And I'm really trying not to make a habit of it because I just don't reach for them as much, but I am trying to outside of my palette collab video, the BYOP with my friend Kelly. I'm trying to make sure I reach out for these palettes a bit more, or singles a bit more. So also in April, I tried out both of Patrick Ta's eyeshadow palettes. Now, I previously had the Major Dimension 1 palette and then I sold it because I just was not feeling it at all. But because I liked the Major Dimension 2 so much, I went back and repurchased the Major Dimension 1. I know that might be stupid, but I'm really glad that I did. This palette, the number 2, this might be one of my favorites that I've gotten so far this year. Now, I will say that these shimmers are a bit tricky and I do not advise using these shimmers with your finger. I feel like they're really prone to hard pan and they really benefit from the brush application. I think they're nice. I think that I, at the time of buying the first palette, was not really appreciating the texture that those shimmers have. It's the same reason why I didn't really care for the special shades from Mama Pat. But I've grown to really appreciate a good textured look. I think the creams really serve as a great eyeshadow base. They blend out really nicely, and I have to just, you know, keep an eye on the longevity of the creams because we know they're not gonna last forever. But this palette makes some really beautiful rosy, I would say almost bridal type looks. I just think it's a beautiful palette. I do think I like this one better than the first one, so let me just talk about that one for a second. Now, the first palette I feel like could be, again, someone's everyday palette. I think my biggest disappointment with this palette, well, not disappointment, but like these are separated by shimmers and mattes, but there's this matte up here that has some shimmers in it, but it's really just a matte. I don't really care for those two shades that much. I really enjoyed using it the second time around, but I think that was more to do with my own eyeshadow evolution than anything else, because the palette was the same. It's just my taste has changed, and I don't think I was really even using neutrals like that. And now I really love neutrals, and so I'm happy to have this one. I was asked to compare this to Biba. I probably would choose Biba over this one, just because Biba has like browns, like kind of some reddish brown tones, as well as the black and gray, and I just think you can do more with it. But I would have to put these two to the test. And last but not least, we are going to end off back at Melt Cosmetics. And I'm sorry I didn't keep all the brands together, but I have 5 palettes that I used this month. And let's go ahead and start with Gemini 2. I'm only going to go over this one really quickly because I've talked about this palette in a couple of videos already. I think I love the way the palette looks much more than I love it on my eyes. I think on me, a lot of these shades blur together, and I think this could have been more edited down, maybe into a 6 shade palette, because these 2 peaches blend together on me, and like the 3 reds here kind of blend together, and I know they look really different in the pan, but if you use a lot of shades, your look is going to all look the same. It doesn't matter. I think I did better when I took maybe 2 shades from the palette or 3 shades, but trying to do like 5 and 6 shades, or like my normal eyeshadow looks have a lot of shades, just didn't work out for me. And I also really wish that they included maybe a light peach here and maybe a lighter green. I know Gemini has a light green, but you know, everyone's not combining the 2 palettes. I did do a look combining the 2, and that one was nice, but this on its own is kind of a no for me. It's really deep and grungy, and surprisingly, I'm not always in the mood for that, even though I love me some grungy looks. I love these peach tones. I think they're nice. The quality of the palette is great. It is the same quality as the Gemini palette, but this was just kind of a miss for me. I think a lighter shimmer really would have done this palette some justice, because you would have had a nice inner corner highlight shade that was a shimmer, or a nice lid shade that you could pair with these deep reds. I just think it would have really made this palette a lot better. And I think it would have appealed to more people if it had a couple lighter colors. So let's talk about Gemini 1. Gemini is probably one of my favorite melt palettes. Every time I use this, I'm just always pleased with the look. This is probably more my color story, but I really do love red eyeshadow as well. But I love these grungy earth tones, these greens. I love that there's a black. I've really come to appreciate a nice black in an eyeshadow palette just to deepen things up. I love like this little pukey color here down at the bottom. I like how you can divide this palette kind of in half, and in a way, separated by the black, you've got a neutral look, and then kind of this greenish look, olivey green look. This is just a really great palette. It was nice to see the sequel, but I think I do like Gemini better than Gemini 2. There's no think about it. We also have the Rust palette that I used in April. I'm still trying to think if this is my favorite melt palette. It has been for a long time. I still have not ranked these yet because I just was like going through using them. Now in my Rust palette, I always mention that I did replace this because once again, they did not have an inner corner highlight shade that I liked. So I replaced this, which was a matte, with a Give Me Glow shimmer that I really love. Love these colors so much. I'm trying to think if I like this one or 27 better because 27 was a newer palette in my collection, but might still love the Rust palette. I mean, this is a palette I probably would really wear every day. Because I'm wearing a lot of different palettes all the time, because I like to try different palettes, I'm not loving on the palettes that I really like and doing eyeshadow looks that I really would probably wear every day. I mean, I like some color, but I love this palette. This was my first melt palette, and I don't know, I might like it better than Gemini. Now this palette, when I purchased it, I almost returned this, and I'm so glad I didn't. The Mary Jane palette, another palette that I did deconstruct. I do have a video on that because people always ask me that, and I deconstructed Mary Jane by taking out the 2 crumbly shimmers. And that's the thing, when you have to do that with the palettes that cost $58, it makes them not worth it. But man, this one, I don't know. Some of these colors again do run together, but to me not as bad as Gemini 2. You kind of have these like antique gold type browns, and then you have these real cool ones. I mean, this is a cool tone palette. But then you have like some, like this one's like milk chocolate brown. These remind me of like chocolate milk. Then you have like these kind of silvers. This one's almost like a, I don't even know what you call this one, but it's like a real deep cool brown. This palette surprised me. It took me some time before I really appreciated it. Like it took me months. But I'm so glad I did not return this. The mattes are great. Some of the shimmers are really nice, but the 2 on the ends, no. They're flaky and they're not great. That's why they had to go. And the last palette for the month of April, and then I need to pull out all my May stuff, is Smoke Sessions by Melt. I love Smoke Sessions. I did a grungy green eyeshadow look when I was going to karaoke, and I enjoyed using this. I think they could have put Gemini in this format, the 8 shades. They haven't done a 6-pan, but the 8-pan maybe. I rarely use these lighter shades, maybe for inner corner highlight, but I rarely use this like minty one. So maybe I have to try with that. Okay, cool. Go put it on your reading log. Great palette. I think this is a classic from Melt. This is one of the palettes that make Melt the brand that they are. You know what I mean? It's not Amore Mary Poses. That's why Amore Mary Poses is on sale, because that's not a signature palette. Smoke Sessions is a signature palette for Melt. I will always come back to this one and will always be glad to have it in my collection. So that's gonna be it for the April roundup. I have it in my spreadsheet. So that is pretty much everything that I tried, and I am sorting my things out for May so that you won't have to wait till July to know what I think about what I tried on in May. Yes. So let me know what you think about everything that I mentioned. Do you have any of these items? How do you feel? And yeah, just let me know what you're thinking about it all. I'm trying to think, did I try any perfumes? I'll have some thoughts about some of the perfumes I've been trying, because I have been trying to get a little more into like my fragrances, but you know, for the most part, I just wear my Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. I wear, oh, I do have one that I can talk about. Let me grab it because it's right here. But what I was saying was, for the most part, I wear like my Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. I wear my Bitter Peach by Tom Ford, and oh, the Lost Cherry. But I have the alt version now because I ran through the Tom Ford Lost Cherry. I talked about that in an empties video, that it didn't really last long. But what I did try in April was the Kayali Eden Juicy Apple 01. I like this one. This smells like a sweet candied apple. Now, I'll be honest with you, I think this smells more along the lines of a body spray than like a perfume. With that being said, it does smell good. I don't feel like it lasts all day, but I did pair this with my, what did I pair it with? I think it was like my Lost Cherry, and I like that. This is super, super sweet and fruity. And it reminds me of a shampoo smell, maybe like a herbal essence apple. Do they have an apple one? Or like the, shoot, it was like a Bath and Body Works. Wasn't it called like Country Apple? It's not like Country Apple was really overpowering. Like I couldn't do that. I don't see myself going for this a whole lot. I see myself combining this with something else that's a little more rich. And I don't have all the fragrance terms, but yeah, I see myself using this with something a little richer. So I'm not sure what that something is, but that's what I see for this. I do have the vanilla one, I think, vanilla 22 or something like that, but I haven't really used that one yet. That one gives me more of a like warm vanilla sugar type vibe. So I'll keep y'all posted on this. I'm really excited because I'm still waiting for the delivery, but I did get a House of Sillage sampler set, and I'm so excited to kind of get my little fragrance game together, because before this, most of the time I just wear essential oils, but a lot of times those are what kind of go into the fragrances. So I do know a little bit about like the essential oils and the types of notes and oils that they use in these perfumes. So anyway, I digress, but that'll be a whole nother video. I'm really excited about trying out House of Sillage now that I'm getting the discovery set. So that's it for this roundup. Thank you so much for taking out some of your time and hanging out with me for this. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And most importantly, I hope this was therapy for you, because it always is for me. So until I see you again, make sure you are being gentle with yourself. Talk to yourself nice, stay safe, and I will see y'all really soon. Bye.